Hi, folks. Good evening. Just a quick announcement. We'll be starting sharp at 7:10, so we still have 7 minutes in. Main agenda for today's session is we got some new joinees, so I'll be officially welcoming them to FinStreet. Secondly, main thing I want to discuss today with you guys is around study plan. Let's say those who are going for May June attempt or September October attempt. How can you set up realistic expectations? How can you plan your studies? And most importantly, the duration part. A lot of candidates are under the impression that this can be just done in 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months. So I'm gonna give you a realistic roadmap of how much time you will take. Lastly, I have kept dedicated this time 30 minutes for Q&A because for last couple of webinars I could only give maximum 15-20 minutes, and I always felt that I could have done more, I could have answered more questions. So in that sense, I'll be trying to answer as much question as I can. But yeah, we'll be
Yeah,
starting in
Bharat.
6 minutes. See you guys soon. Good evening, Reet. Welcome to the class. Okay, we are all set to start. So, once again, officially welcome to today's session. Uh, Thank you for sparing time on Sunday evening. I know when it's a weekend, especially for working professional, Sunday evening study and discussing about career is the last thing a lot of you might prefer. But still, thank you. I highly appreciate you guys being here. So before we start, a quick note: those who have officially joined FinStreet today, welcome. This is a welcome call for you. I'll be running you through the LMS and all the accesses you will be getting. But before that, initially, I want to discuss initial 20-30 minutes around how you can plan your studies, what duration you can set for your exam, and other questions. Meanwhile, if you have any doubts, you can post them in the chat box. I'll pick them as and when possible. But yeah, majority of the questions will be entertained at the end. Let's start. So major agenda or rather main agenda for the day, crafting perfect study plan for CMA. Now when we talk about CMA and planning your studies, by the way, just a quick check. Are you guys able to hear me? Is there any doubt? Is there any technical issue? Let me just check. Can any one of you unmute and speak up?
Yeah, it's clear, Aditya.
It's clear. Okay, thanks. Arey, Appa Sahib. Chalo, happy to see you.
Yeah, thank you. Here, same here.
Yes, I hope you had a great break. I think
Yeah,
you are on
it
holidays, right?
it was a great and new year beginning. Let's see how it goes.
Nice. Okay, so let's talk about CMA. First, we'll start with part one versus part two. Now, major difference whenever a student asks me, sir, which part should we go for? I have a personal bias over here. There are fundamental differences between these two parts. I personally had started with part two when I pursued CMA back in I think 2018 or I think 19 somewhere I had started. And my bias was between accounts and finance, rather core capital market finance. Which one do you like more? So, based on my experience, when I talk about finance, this is built more on logic, but accounts is based on logic plus rules. We have long set rules of US cap, and then we have IFRS coming into the picture, and then we have again other parameters set methodologies for calculations which we have to follow no matter what. But when we talk about finance, which is mainly let's say corporate finance, what is corporate finance? Well, the part where you see equity investments being made, debt investment being made, you got merger and acquisitions, and so on. Core capital market products. Majorly, analysis around this is corporate finance. So this is pretty much based on risk to return evaluation, how risk is calculated, how return is calculated, and I have this set funda that why not start with the easy part where there is just logic. Rules to some extent pushes you to memorize a lot of stuff. So why not let's start with something that is easy. Once we start with easy part, it helps us build momentum. And once this momentum is built, let's say you're up here for part 2, and after that continuing on this momentum or building on this momentum, you can always go for part 1. Now this is my philosophy. If someone is specifically working in FP&A as such or accounting as such, which includes let's say accounting close, reporting, and a number of relevant profiles, you can consider going for part 1. But purely from study perspective, you have to put in extra efforts when it comes to part 1 as compared to part 2. Efforts are required. Either part you pick, efforts are required, but comparatively यहाँ पे थोड़ा ज़्यादा है, यहाँ पे comparatively थोड़ा कम है. I hope this gives you some flavor. Now this is a very macro level analysis, but it gives you some flavor around which part you can start with. Next, guys, please don't annotate on my screen. I've kept this session open so that we could interact properly. But yeah, I would appreciate if you could help me direct this properly. Yes. Next part, coming to duration. See, whoever is starting their CMA prep right now, there are mainly two windows you guys are targeting. One window is, let's say, around May or June. Second is somewhere around September or October. Now let me divide you guys into categories, different categories. First category is someone who has passed 12th or is a UG student or is a PG student. So someone who is in college right now. So it is fair enough that you guys will have some kind of assignments coming in and some level of exams coming in during your March and April period, which is like an academic year close. In my experience over last one whole year, I have seen all my students disappear whenever there is exam season. So this kind of a break that you guys take for maybe a month, if not 15 days, this creates a huge problem because you lose touch with your studies. You are not part of our regular testing pattern. We lose data on you. N number of things happen. So for you, I would say initially keep your target as May June attempt. But after this, if you think that you are not ready, and you can decide this somewhere around, let's say, March end. And there is a very simple trick to decide if you're ready or not. You just have to sit for a mid-season mock. Make sure from, let's say, Jan, when we are starting, till March, at least 50% of the curriculum is completed. Sit for a full mock of 100 MCQs. Based on these 3 or 4 sections that you complete, if you are scoring more than 80, you're good to go. Maybe you are in race for May June attempt. But after this mock, which will be conducted in March, if you score less than 80, but maybe more than 70, amber zone, you can take a call. If you can pull it off in, let's say, May, study a lot in May and appear in June, fine. But if it is less than 70, I would say you might have to think again and preferably go for September or October attempt. You have that flexibility, so use it. This was around the first category which we talk about, students who are in college right now. Coming to second category, which is, now this is an interesting category. Second category is of students who have completed their graduation or they are CA dropouts. We have a huge crowd that have opted for a plan B, that is, other than CA. This is one of the best courses available. Or someone who has completed MBA but yet to get placed. For you guys, I think the most critical factor is time. And secondly, let's say when you're studying, you are in a position where you can actually put in a lot of efforts in the sense you can actually study 4 hours a day and even pull off 5 to 6 hours on weekends if possible. 5 to 6 are including, class of 3 hours. So this is a huge leverage you guys have. So for you guys, I would say specifically May, June is the best attempt that you can go for. Don't waste your time. See, I am always in favor of experience plus education. Somehow, a lot of so-called experts build an image that, certificates are everything. If you have a certificate or if you have a degree, you will go places, your salary will start from 10, 15, 20. ऐसे नहीं होता है. A fresher is a fresher. दुनिया भर के certificates, even you get it. Once you start in a corporate, you don't know how corporate works, corporate mannerisms. Even at times, you don't know even how to write an email. I still recall my first job at Deutsche Bank. My manager sat with me and trained me through all this. And that is when your actually value grows exponentially. So I'm always in favor of experience plus education. So if you're someone who is, graduate, CA dropout, and plus a graduate or an MBA graduate, you have completed your MBA, time is money and you're losing out on that. So in that case, I would say quickly, as soon as possible, complete your first part in May, June. If you could pull off second part in September, October, nothing like it, you will be CMA in 6 months. But again, the amount of effort, everything is required. And don't worry about my support. See, once you join FinStreet, you have lectures, access to all my batches, previous 2, 3 batches, so I keep it open. So when I'm taking live classes, you can attend those. But even when the classes are not there, you can go through recordings, study at your own pace. You can be 10 times ahead of me. You can sit for the exams. Exams are open. LMS question bank is open. Everything is open. So full freedom is there. Study as much as you want. Coming to third category now. Category where we have working professionals. Now for working professionals, the main critical factor is your workload. So let me draw a picture in terms of the expectations I have from you when it comes to studying. The ideal time to study for CMA in a day is 3 hours. But this comes with a big condition. The condition is that when you're studying for 3 hours, these are productive 3 hours. And believe me, the how much importance I'm putting into this word productive, I don't think anyone would be able to fathom that. When I say productive, I'll give you my example. When I used to work in Deutsche Bank, I was studying and appearing for the exam. So my uh, overall shift was from 12 p.m. to 9 p.m. I tried studying after 9, and I've also tried studying before 12. This place, studying between 8 and 10 a.m., worked out the best for me. I could focus more, plus, it became part of my routine. But whenever I tried studying after 9 p.m., I just couldn't keep up. At times, I am studying for 1 hour, but I've hardly read 3 pages. Now, when someone is reading 3 pages, maybe 5 minutes a page, 15 minutes ka study, you are taking 1 hour. Then these 3 hours becomes meaningless. If you are taking, 1 hour to study something that is worth 15 minutes, a 3 hour schedule becomes pointless, meaningless. So make sure that when I'm saying 3 hours, it is productive, reasonable enough that you can justify 3 hours of efforts. If you guys can study 3 hours, chalo, let me give you some leeway. Let's say you have some good academic background, so 2 hours to 3 hours on weekdays, which is Monday to Friday. So we have an estimate of, let's say, 10 hours to 15 hours on weekdays. And then I expect you to pull off 5 hours on Saturday and Sunday. So we have 2 days over here, which is another 10 hours. So we get a range of 20 to 25 hours in a week, 1 week, which is nothing but if we multiply it for a month, you got 80 hours to 100 hours study time in a month. If you're someone who's able to study 100 hours in a month, for you, 4 to 5 months is a reasonable timeline. If you're someone who's studying 400 hours or 500 hours per part, it's a reasonable timeline given you're not taking a break in between. You are not getting distracted with a lot of workload. The routine stays, in continuous format. You are appearing for all the tests, mid-season mock, everything. Uh, to give you some real numbers out of my whole batch size, when I look at my test data, hardly 45 to 50% are regular attendees for weekly tests. Rest of the 50% either ask for an extension because some work shows up, or they are traveling, or they're not keeping well. Now, once in a while is understandable, but repeated defaults counts up to a lot of study lag, which can be a huge issue. So something you have to take care of. Another thing, in a lot of offices, there is something called as work season, especially those who work in a cyclical industry. जैसे tax हो गया, whenever you have your year end, though it be Indian system, US system, whatever it is, whenever tax filing shows up and you have to be in office, let's say year end hai, month end, quarter end, whatever it is, you have to stay back, you have to close your books, you have a lot of work to be taken care of. In that case, the same issue which students have now with exams, they disappear for a month. The same issue I've seen with working professionals who disappear during this season. So you have to be again careful that, okay, if we are having a season, then don't keep your immediate attempt as May, June. May, June. Don't keep it as May, June. Always target September, October. Give yourself buffer for an attempt. Keep target as May, June. Study with that focus, but practically keep on evaluating yourself. There is a good chance you might have to go for September, October attempt. This concludes my discussion on duration. To summarize, students or someone who can pull off aram say 120, 150, 180 hours in a month, but you have your exams. Let me write exam over here. If exam is going to be an issue, then go for September, October. But if exam is not going to be an issue, then keep May, June. Those who have completed your education and studying full time, you should definitely go for May, June. No excuse allowed. If you are a working professional who's struggling with time management, then September, October. If you're someone who's not under a lot of work pressure, May, June is doable. Anyone having any questions around time of study, duration of study, what's my expectations, etc.? So I'll take 2 seconds ka break just to entertain doubts. Today we are also live on YouTube. Let me go through YouTube as well. Sir, how do we access IMA support? Since not I'm able to find it. Harshita, IMA support. So once you register, you have access to IMA support document for 6 months. So given that if you are registered, you should be able to find it. I'll record a video maybe on YouTube and post it. It won't be a long video. I think I'll post a reel showing how to do this. Let me check with in-class students. Anyone who wants to ask how to plan their study in terms of duration? No questions? Okay. I think the explanation was good enough. Chalo. Coming to next part. When you are studying, how to start with your studies. Now, this is something I've been kind of focusing on a lot. Your study is always broken down into 4 pillars. But let me give you 2 interesting formulas. You know, whatever I say in YouTube videos, I don't want to repeat it here. I want to deliver something extra. So one, I will call it as regular pathway. Regular pathway may you focus on completing a section. You know, each part has its own 6 sections. Part 1 has 6 sections. Part 2 has its 6 sections. Regular pathway is, let's say I'm starting with section A, you complete that, maybe it takes around 4 to 6 weeks, study with the class of course. Then you move to next section, that is section B. I think let's say part 2 is starting this weekend. I think next Saturday say we'll be starting with first chapter. So let's say section B you're starting, it takes around 8 weeks, it's a long one. This is regular pathway. But let's say someone who wants to put in extra efforts. So you can have a fast track pathway. Under fast track, I would say create combination of sections. Now, how to create combination of sections? See, I personally like to juggle with something that is partly theory and partly number crunching. Whenever I'm fresh, I'm in a good mood, I like to read, I study something that is theoretical in nature. Let's say I'm not in a good mood, maybe I'm tired, but I still want to study, then focus on number crunching. Number crunching kind of keeps you active, awake, and it's very easy to study in a way. So let me take part 2 as a sample, given that we are starting with part 2 batch. Part 2 has 6 sections: A, B, C, D, E, and F. I don't think it would fit in. Let me cover up some more space. Now we are discussing about fast track pathway. See, we got 6 sections: so A, B, C, D, E, and F. A is 50% theory, 50% number crunching. A little more in terms of number crunching, rather, I will say 60% number crunching and 40% theory. चलो मेजरली रेशियोज का नंबर क्रंचिंग काफ़ी होता है, बट द काइंड ऑफ क्वेश्चंस आई ऑब्जर्व आर यूजुअली इंटरप्रिटेशन बेस्ड क्वेश्चंस. कमिंग टू सेक्शन बी, बी में भी आई वुड कॉल इट 40% theory and 60% number crunching, especially around valuation part. Valuation can be interesting, CAPM वगैरह. You will learn this. You know, एक कंपनी का वैल्यू कैसे निकालते हैं, लिस्टेड कंपनी, प्राइवेट कंपनी, एक बॉन्ड का वैल्यू कैसे निकालते हैं. गुड एग्जांपल ऑफ बॉन्ड वुड बी, यू गो इन अ रेगुलर बैंक, आप SBI में गए हो एंड यू हैव मेड अ फिक्स्ड डिपॉजिट, and the receipt that you get, that is as good as a bond with, you know, a lot of details entered. It's a good proxy for a bond rather. Next, coming to section C, I would say 20% theory and 80% number crunching. We got decision analysis over here. Then we got risk management over here. Risk management is pretty much 100%. Chalo var वगैरह है. So I'll give 10% to number crunching. Let me write it consistently. Number crunching, and 90% to theory. Section E is completely opposite. So I will say somewhere around, let's say 15% theory, and we got 85% number crunching. And section F, 100% theory. This is ethics. Ethics is quite interesting. And believe me, if you get a lot of questions around ethics or a case study around ethics, it's your lottery day. बहुत easy होता है ethics. So wherever majority is number crunching, let me just highlight that. We got 4 sections: A, B, C, and E. Now, to be honest, there are 2 sections which are very easy in this. We got section A, which is easy. We got section C, which is easy. B, I'm pretty sure that a lot of students, when they go through the curriculum, they find it difficult. But luckily, I got to work in corporate finance only. Section B stands for corporate finance. So I am at a position where I'm able to make it easy for you, but it's a half-half partnership. Like I make it easy, but you have to put in equal amount of efforts in terms of studying and practicing. So B will be easy, but there are like a lot of efforts required. So I'm not gonna count it as easy one. And same with section E. I happen to have completed FRM and one level of CFA, so I got some expertise in section E as well. But given that A and C are very easy, you can combine this with other two sections which are missing over here. That is section D, and then we got section F. So this is your fast track method to be summarized. Under fast track, you can start with A plus D. You can then keep just B. While studying B, please don't combine this with anything. After B, you can move to C plus F, and after that, you can move to E. I think in this way, if you're someone who is planning to complete CMA Part 2 in just 3 months, you should be able to do it easily. With this technique, it might take 4 months. Yeah, more or less 4 months. And इसमें I would again still call it 2 to 3 months. And this beta measure would be 3 to 4 months. Because our overall class goes for around 3.5 months, but I always keep 2 weeks as a buffer. So 4 month class ho jata hai, and after that, in a month's time, you can appear for your exam. But yeah, this is the fast track pathway. Let me take a small break again, just to see if anyone has any doubts. I'm currently pursuing Indian CMA. Okay, I'll come to that. Maybe we can discuss a little bit around Indian versus US CMA today. Chalo, next part, study plan. Now study plan there's a dedicated video I have made, but let me give you some unfiltered picture and also draw some detailing around what all issues you can face. Weber, please don't annotate on my screen. Thank you. See, we'll be starting our classes on Saturday, Sunday. Chapter 1 will be covered on, I think, coming 18th Jan. When it comes to schedule part or when it comes to study plan part, Excel should be shared by Tuesday by Hamshika. Hamshika is our student success manager. So she'll share these details with you soon. So you'll have complete idea that at what time, what session will be covered. But let's say we are starting with chapter 1 on 18th Jan. There will be an assignment given to you, which will be for the duration Monday to Thursday. This assignment usually includes 30 to 50 MCQs and around 10 to 15 pages to be read from Hawk textbook. Hawk textbook. Thursday evening, 8:30 to 10 p.m. I come on a Zoom call with you guys live. By the way, on Monday, there is also a Google Drive link shared with you guys. You can copy paste all your doubts as a screenshot over here. 8:30 to 10, I simply open this Google Drive and I start solving question one by one. That's the idea. Now, initially it used to take a lot of time, but lately what is happening that there are a lot of doubt solving sessions which I keep open for the students. So the number of doubts students are having are kind of reducing, which is a good part because there's an in-detail explanation of all the difficult questions available already. So again, it increases your pace for solving. This is your doubt solving session on Friday. It's a pre-read. Pre-read matlab purane batch ke lectures you can watch, and Saturday and Sunday again you can come for a fresh class. If you have any buffer or if you're not, by the way, Thursday you also have a weekly test. And the deadline is Friday EOD. So if you're not able to appear for your test by Friday EOD, at times, working professionals aren't able to do so. Sunday is your deadline. We extract your results on Monday to just check how you guys are performing on the test. This is how your weekly schedule should look like. If you are with FinStreet, even if you are doing self-study, you guys are open to have your own schedule. Another thing, See, not everyone is extremely comfortable when it comes to solving MCQs. So I have built a pattern for you guys, which I strongly advise to all FinStreet students and even others as well. The pattern is step one, or 3 4 steps of studying are: first one is watch video lecture, preferably live, but due to some reason if you miss out on live, then recording. But the downside of recording is, see, we take classes on Sunday, but your recordings are available on Monday and onwards, so थोड़ा सा delay होता है. We are trying to get that time down. Second step is read from the textbook. So there are few nitty-gritties here and there, or an extension or elaboration of a concept which is there in the textbook, which gets covered over here. Third expectation. Acha, while watching videos, I expect you to take notes, important points, write it in your own language. We usually take up case studies and I explain them. I kind of break them down. When I ask you guys to read, I also expect you guys to highlight important points. Step number 3, practice. If you observe, Sat and Sunday pretty much takes care of your step number 1. Monday to Thursday, there's time given to read textbook. So pretty much takes care of this. Plus, same thing, Monday to Thursday, I expect you guys to practice, but there are 2 ways of practicing. I always ask students to take first sample of 10 questions. If they're getting it correct, do a closed book test and continue with your remaining 30 to 40 MCQs. If you're not getting it correct, do an open book test. See, we all stand at different levels of understanding. Even after doing a lecture, there's a good chance you might struggle to do few MCQs and you might need my assistance, but that is just one-time assistance. If we do 5-10 questions together, you are pretty much on a very smooth track. After that, you can take it ahead, aram se. So this especially happens with students who have stepped out of 12th, that they, while solving MCQs for the first time, the case study pattern, critical thinking, logical thinking, this is quite new. You guys have stepped out of an Indian system and going to a US based system, so there will be some gap. So I always advise my students that you will need initial assistance for a few questions that you have to solve with me. So it's completely fine. Watch my DSS, plus after this have an open book test for 20 MCQs. Under this open book test, what you have to do is keep your notes open, keep your highlighted points open and solve it. And after this, when you sit for a test, our Thursday test, give this test as a closed book test. And using this pattern, we have observed, our data shows 80% accuracy आराम से match हो जाती है. So again, these are small, nitty gritties that we have tracked over time, and it's really working effectively for all the students. Works wonders. तो ये हो गया आपका how to study pattern. Watching video lectures, then read, then practice. Acha, when should you revise? There should be multiple revisions. First revision after 7 days, once you're done practicing on Thursday, Friday, after 7 days, have first revision. After those 7 days, give yourself a gap of 21 days and then revise again. After those 21 days, have another break of 21 days and then revise again. Keep on revising this till the time your exam date shows up. And then again, under each revision, what you should be covering? Well, your practice, read, like understanding, learning part, practicing is done. So your major focus should be testing yourself again and again. But along with this, you should be revising some important notes written over here. So going through notes, going through highlighted part, trying more and more questions. Ideally, you have 2000 plus questions on Hawk, more than enough. You have multiple sectional tests and all. Plus you have IMA support package, which has around, I think, 500, 800 questions again. It's a good bank. So having 2.5 thousand questions at your disposal or more than that, I think good enough. You have a lot of material. But yeah, I think that's a good solid plan. So my major agenda for the day is done. How to prepare notes. Aditya, so whenever I'm, let's say, explaining a concept, write down concept title. Actually, there are interesting thing. There are 2 ways of taking notes. One is the old school way. One is the old school way, where you are writing your concept name. Under concept name, let's say today morning I was teaching, I think equity ka kuch part. I was teaching how treasury stocks are there. So for this treasury stocks, what I can do is I'll write the concept name, I'll write some pointers. After my explanation, I'll explain you what are treasury stocks. A company might consider repurchasing for a number of reasons. So you can write down what are the potential reasons repurchasing is involved and what is further process. Write it in your own language, and this is old school way. There is something called as active learning, which I think I kind of figured it out 2-3 years ago. I think when I was preparing for my CFA exam, something like that. So around that time, instead of writing this concept, I started writing questions for myself. That when I'm explaining treasury stock, I wrote down a question for myself: what could be potential reasons for a company to have treasury stocks? Now, when I'm revising this or studying this again, my only objective is to try and answer all these questions. When I answer it, I can just get rid of it. It is as simple as that. So again, if you are okay with active learning, go ahead with this. If you are comfortable with old school way, go ahead with it. There's no right or wrong way. Whatever works for you, please follow it. Okay, sorry guys. Trying to unmute few folks. Rather mute few people. Yep. I think we are good till now. So now I think would be the right time to, acha, let me also walk you through LMS accesses. It's something I had committed. Now we have two accesses. One is we have an exclusive membership with Hawk. So let me walk you through first Hawk LMS, how it works. See, once you register with us, there, what all you get, let me walk you through that as well. Now we have a long list of things that we deliver. Once you join, within 24 hours, working hours, you will get access to FinStreet LMS. Right now, we are just hosting our videos on this LMS, video lectures. And I think in a month's time, we will be shifting our exams or tests on this as well. After joining within 48 hours, you will get access to Hawk LMS. If it is a Friday, then you might have to wait till Monday. That's another thing. Under Hawk LMS, you will get access to textbook. You will also get access to question bank. Achha, these exams are, by the way, weekly. We share it through right now, I think Google Forms, but we'll be shifting to LMS soon. Over here, you will get access to question bank, which will have, I think, pretty much total 4K plus questions, part 1, part 2 combined. And there are, I think, 4 mock exams, 2 for part 1, 2 for part 2. Plus, there are some sectional tests. I think 12 sectional tests, 1 for each section. This will be delivered in 48 hours. You will be part of our notice board group. You will get all the updates over here, but this is a closed group. Only admin can message. So important notices are given over here. Second is a cohort group. This is open group. So you guys can amongst yourself discuss, post your doubts, ask questions. This is more like a peer learning thing that, within our class, we have created 3-4 cohorts, one for the students, one for graduates, one for working professionals. So you can, in your own group, post messages and help each other. And we are extremely active, by the way, in this group. So if you want to post anything, ask anything, let's say for that could be beneficial for a larger audience, you can do that, or you can directly reach out to admin as well. Third thing where you will be added soon is once you're done with one part 1 or part 2. If you're a student, you will be taken to campus to corporate. If you're a working professional, you will be taken to placement bootcamp. This I've discussed in detail. Maybe I need to make a video soon. Initially, it will be shared internally, later on externally. But once one part is done, you will be added to another group. Next, after this, we have something called as alumni. Let's say both parts are done, part 1 and part 2. You will be added to alumni support group, where we make sure that your placement assistance is in progress. Then you have complete access to our alumni group. And interestingly, our data shows that we have majority of working professionals in FinStreet rather than students. So that was something that blew my mind lately. I've been tracking the data very closely, and it's good to have some audience that is kind of cross helping each other. Most of our students who are sitting in a very senior role, they specifically keep a very personal touch. I'm also in their touch to making sure that whenever there are openings in their companies, I try to pitch in my students. ठीक है. So that's the overall idea of delivery. uh, these are two critical factors. Make sure that you have complete access to this. Let's go through Hawk LMS and then we'll come to FinStreet LMS. So this is Hawk LMS, and by the way, there are also hard copy textbooks that we can deliver through Hawk. Now, if you buy textbook through us, it comes at an additional 2K cost. This is only for hard copy. Soft copy or a online version, PDF version, that can be accessed through LMS. That is free. Like that is part of our package only. We don't charge separately for this. And I would say if you're someone who wants to buy hard copy, buy it through us, because on Amazon or other portals, it's quite expensive. We do get some discount, but we don't keep it to ourselves. We pass that discount to our students. Another thing, so we are in process of getting a silver badge soon. The paperwork is in progress. I am not supposed to talk a lot about it, but whenever we get it completely, we'll be announcing it officially, and whatever benefits we get, we'll be again passing it on to you guys. Chalo. Over here, once you come, first thing you will have is access to these textbooks. Whenever you want to read a textbook for part 1, for part 2, just click on this and the textbook will open up. Now, once the textbook open up, by the way, it's updated copy for 24-25. There are n number of tools you can use. Just to show you, let's say if you want to jump to a specific section from index, I can click on it and jump over there. Second thing, if I want to, let's say, write something, annotate something, highlight something, let's say financial is important, I can simply drag it and highlight it. If I want to underline something, I can select it, underline it. If I want to strike something, I can strike it as well. So n number of tools are available under annotate. Please use them. You can also write some text over here. I'm just showing you a sample, but yeah, this is how it works. Whenever I'm giving you an assignment, I usually tell you that page number 3 say page number 20 you have to read. So in this format, I always deliver my assignment. Next is another part of your assignment would be, let's say I ask you to solve some questions. So this is the part where you'll find all your questions, test pack and MCQs. Let's say I'm going to assign you some questions from ethics, or let's say investment decisions. So I'll click on it. Let me go to a new session. See, this is how your list of questions would look like from small concepts. Now, this is not a chapter. This is a small topic or concept. So let's say I give you 5 questions from here, 8 questions from here, 6 from here, and let's say 20 from here. So more or less, this is how I usually give you guys my assignment at your own pace. Till Thursday, you have to complete this. And let's say if you want to practice this, just select number of questions. This is the maximum number you can select. And then simply click on start session. Once you click on start session, this is how your UI, user interface would look like. You will have MCQs in front of you. Whatever answer you want to mark, you can select it and move on to the next question. Once you guys are done, click on save and then end session. This is going to be a daily assignment. Another thing, once you guys are done with a complete section, we ask you guys to sit for a sectional test. One sectional test is over here and another is over here. You got random 50 questions and you get timed test as well. You can appear for this. You got one more review. I think 3 tests. You can appear for it. This is all about Hawk LMS. By the way, you also have pass map study system. I think there's a lot of summary and points, extra study points that are there. You can access it. Summary ke liye वगैरह अच्छा है. It's really good. But it's an optional tool. You guys can use it at your own pace. Coming to main part, that is now FinStreet LMS. It's a private link. Our team will help you with it. You cannot register yourself. Rather, you can register. You need to register yourself, but you won't get access to the courses. We from backend usually give you access to the courses. So let's say once you enter. Also, we have an Android app. Preferably, whichever device is, preferably I push for laptop. Mobile phones are not good for studies, but yeah. This is how your dashboard would look like. Let's say once you get an access to CMA part 2, you will see long list of lectures over here. And there are different types of lectures. This one says this says MCQ practice, MCQ plus case practice. So I've solved few case studies over here to give you a demo how case studies are done. DSS stands for doubt solving session. Now, wherever you see any titles, these are basically concepts explained, and also along with the dates. So 14, 15 December, 15 December, part 1, part 2. You will have complete end-to-end access to part. So whenever you want to study, you can, whenever any lectures are uploaded, they will be seen over here. That's the idea. I think the latest one is somewhere over here, 10 Jan, DSS and International Finance. I think ये पुराने batch का है. But yeah, this is how it is there. You won't be able to see my screen right now. It's a black screen because we have DRM in place. So piracy रोकने के लिए we are using that. But yeah, that's pretty much for FinStreet access. Okay, so I'm actually done for this part. Let me now look at few questions. After that, we can call it a day. I'll keep a blank screen. If I need to explain something, happy to do it. So first I'll look at Zoom questions. YouTube, I'm coming in just a minute. iPhone user is saying, Acha, I got Anubhav saying, I have my college exams in May. Is May, June attempt doable? Anubhav, I'll give you a simple condition. If you can wrap up all your studies by April end, then maybe you study for just 1 hour every day in May. You can't lose touch. Okay, it's a lot of effort you have to put in, and your memory needs to be fresh. So if you can wrap up your study by April, revise 1 hour study every day in May, then June attempt is doable. But if you're not able to wrap up by April the whole syllabus, then maybe consider keeping your September October attempt open. Then we have iPhone user. Pursuing Indian CMA, completed my inter group 1 and appearing for group 2. I want to appear for May attempt US CMA. Is it preferable or just go for September attempt? Any syllabus is common in both courses that will benefit me? Yeah, there are a lot of common things. I think 60-70% to overlap hai. See, fundamentally, both courses build you for same skill set. It is just that the ideology is different. The way courses are conducted is different. If you talk about Indian courses in general, we got few topics, but extremely in depth. These are Indian courses. When we talk about US courses, n number of topics, technology, yahan, wahan means you won't believe. Part 1 technology goes to analytics, even blockchain tak chala jata hai. There's a chapter on blockchain as well, machine learning, वगैरह, everything. So when you have a lot of topics covered over here, US says don't focus on depth, understand the fundamentals, and have work experience. Indian system says study this, but have articleship. So it's your choice. Whichever you think is good for you, go for it. But yeah, this is my subjective opinion on usually Indian and US courses. US courses has more like, hands-on approach ke experience pe thoda focus do. That's why full-time job is required, not an articleship. कल से डेली वीडियो टारगेट्स मिलेंगे. ट्यूसडे रीत ट्यूसडे से स्टार्ट हो जाएगा. But yeah, for you guys, by the way, thanks for reminding. Guys, whoever has joined FinStreet, for you, you have an assignment this week now. You have to go through something called as Finance 101. Finance 101 is a course that has around 6 to 7 lectures, which has complete coverage of finance fundamentals. What is finance? What is equity? What is debt? And number of things. Basic, which every professional should know before starting CMA. So it's a prerequisite. Make sure throughout this whole week, Finance 101, all lectures are completed. Just if you're curious to see where you can find it, let me check if it's open. Street Mingle. Yeah, once you have access, go to dashboard, go to Finance 101, and there you see you have around 6 lectures over here. Then this is more or less YouTube. Watch it, skip it. Brian Hocka podcast, watch it, skip it, up to you. And others are tutorials. So I think these 5-6 lectures, यहाँ पर एक दो lectures है which are private, not released on YouTube, around how to study, how to plan. There's an Excel sheet as well, study plan का. This is the sample Excel sheet which I've shared. How I share study plans with students. I think ये किसी ने edit किया है. Let me show you an actual study plan. I think ये बहुत पुराना है September, but this is how a study schedule will be shared with you. यहाँ पे date, time वगैरह का कैसे class होगा, कौन से topic पे होगा. This will be discussed. And if you're someone who's looking for study plan as such, study plan, something like this will be shared. Assignments, case studies, what you need to do, 4 steps. So step wise diya hota hai, and under which step what you need to do. So you will get access to this content. Don't worry. But yeah, major target for this week, Reet and others, FinStreet folks, watch all lectures under Finance 101. Kawaljit, sir, like all topics will be covered on Zoom Live, or we have to study from the recorded sessions also? Kawaljit, all chapters, all concepts will be covered 100%. If you want to be ahead, if you want to study extra, if you want to study pre-read, मतलब class में आने से पहले class देख के आना है. There are few folks who opt for this for better understanding, and which is kind of good because they already have their doubts ready. They make sure that their doubts are cleared in the live class, and their pace of study is much faster. So it's up to you. But yeah, all the topics would be covered in class. We don't skip anything. Anubhav, does part 1 accounting treatment for amalgamation, merger, acquisitions or procedure? हाँ, we all have this control account. I think कल परसों ही कर रहे थे consolidation. So if A acquires B, तो A and B का consolidation वगैरह कैसे होता है? We have it. Saurav Mahendra, will the syllabus from the books get outdated after an year? No, Saurav. Each syllabus is active for 4 years. There might be few changes coming in here or there, but the way IMA has been going about their overall curriculum is 2020 में last change हुआ था, 2024 में change हुआ था again last year, and next change is expected in 2028. So till then we are good, more or less good. हुआ तो भी I don't think there would be significant change in curriculum. Faisal, what is the time frame for part 1 and part 2? Which part are you going to start? We are starting with part 2. There are a lot of students who are just saying, sir, part 2 hi le lo. Also, we are doing one interesting thing. I usually like to have limited students in a batch. And my last batch is kind of at a very good level in terms of attendance and number of students. So I'm going to split the batch now. Saturday, Sunday, I don't mind studying 3, 4 batches in a day. So there will be a split now, and you will have my more dedicated attention, whoever is starting right now. Will be a small niche group, and I think that would be fun. But yeah, you can also attend other batch. It's up to you. Both options would be open. Sir, does the college provide scholarships? And if I join FinStreet, what is the validity of lectures for me? Ayush, it depends on if college has a either partnership with IMA, in the sense endorsement or sponsorship. उनके अभी 2-3 parameters आ गए हैं. अच्छा, let me talk about scholarship. It has been like a hot topic for quite some time now. See, I'm kind of behind IMA for all these things, and lucky enough or good enough, I am able to meet these folks and talk openly about all such issues. So few issue that IMA has been facing for last few years was, see, there are a lot of scholarships given, but when something is given for free, na, people are ought to not value it. जो हुआ है काफी time के लिए. And when this happened, institute wasn't happy with the ongoing process. So there was, firm changes made, making sure that IMA scholarships are given in a very serious way, in a very filtered and targeted manner. Targeted manner in the sense wherever higher turnout is expected, wherever they are finding serious students, hardworking students, and number of filters, they have their own filters. But there is no specific definition. So let's say if any college reaches out and they plan to, let's say, integrate themselves to a large extent, where CMA is part of the studies, is acknowledged by the college, students know about it. So sorry, my stylus fell off. Let's say integrated in the sense you will see a lot of colleges offering BCom plus CMA, those kind of courses and all. So these guys get open support from IMA. There's an MOU, and these guys get scholarships in the range of 5 or 10 students usually. But there are colleges where there were scholarships given and students just didn't show up, and that reflected badly on them. And now the whole system has only changed itself. So again, to shed some light, if you there are two-way colleges operate. College has an MOU, good, there's a good chance you will get scholarship if your principal nominates you. If the college doesn't have an MOU, ideally the college and IMA should communicate, and over here candidate has to be the bridge, or candidate can get in touch with me. We are more than happy to support you in this. We will talk to your college administration, we will talk to IMA officials, we'll make sure there's a meeting that takes place and your college gets required support from IMA. But there has to be some level of collaboration with IMA closely to make sure that students are taking things seriously. That's the status. So if there's an MOU, good. If there's not an MOU, uh, there has to be some collective effort. It won't be just a free giveaway kind of thing now. I hope that brings a lot of clarity. Coming to Ayush FinStreet lectures are activated initially for 2 years. And beyond that, if you need any extension, we have lifetime support policy, either if it is placement, alumni support, anything. So even let's say you're not appeared for exams, you can always show me your admit card that sir मैं exam के लिए जा रहा हूँ. Even after 2 years, I'll extend it. But वो नौबत नहीं आती है. Max to max, I have seen students taking 18 months. उससे ज़्यादा तो नहीं लेते. We are going to study according to 1 1 April to 31st March accounting or any. It is US accounting, and the question tells you what is the start date, end date. If it's not US, may we have 1st Jan to 31st December. Most of the question has this format only. Kawaljit, and sir, the skills which you mentioned on today's YT video courses, will it be conducted for us? Kawaljit, there is no live training for these videos which I mentioned. It will be delivered in a very open platform kind of a format. So there are, by the way, extremely high quality, engaging, good quality videos pre-recorded given to you. You need to complete all the recordings, sit for an exam which we will conduct, and then we will give you a certificate. I think there are 3 courses going live by end of January: Excel, Advanced Excel, and Power BI. And next month, I think hum Tableau, Ultrix, and there is one more course, I think financial modeling, that will go live. And I'm also adding few more courses which I haven't mentioned, because kuch secret sauce hona chahiye. I'm not that open about all the things on YouTube. Kuch exclusive benefits are not everything, but 10-20% I keep it exclusive for FinStreet students. Rest I open it for rest of the world. Are any kind of tax laws covered? No, taxation is not part of CMA. See, CMA ideology is more towards analysis, decision making. So even when we talk about tax as such, जहाँ पर tax deductible items है, they are covered, but tax laws and all not much covered. The focus is not on audit and tax, which typically a chartered accountant does. Focus is on what a CFO would do, and take any company for that matter. What is function of a CFO? 3 functions. We raise capital. इसके लिए part 2 pretty much covers a lot of stuff. After that, we deploy capital. For that, we need a lot of analysis. यहाँ पे part 1 plus part 2 both comes into picture, and then we have reporting. Over here again, part 1 does a decent work. And above all this, this is from business perspective. But the major counterpart where capital is raised is investor perspective. From investor perspective also, part 2 does a decent work. So इतने ही functions होते हैं, let's say at a core finance analysis pathway. I think these core functions are covered in depth. Okay, coming to next question now. By the way, if anyone wants to just unmute and talk to me, you guys are free, like, feel free to do so. Next is Aditya, sir, you forgot to explain that IMA support package. Explain, share rather. I think मुझे upload करना है ना, मैं LMS पे कर देता हूँ आज. Don't worry. Vanshika, hey Vanshika, happy to see you. Sir, I was sitting for part 1 in today's class. When are we starting? Contacted Symbiosis, but they told they don't have MOU. Symbiosis has an MOU, but ये कौन सा? So again, Symbiosis has a lot of branches. पुणे का Symbiosis, which I know, has just signed an MOU. उनके press release में था, but we can discuss this separately in class. I think Vanshika, you have taken admission. I will discuss this in class. Sania, sir, which part are you going to teach? No, this is just a welcome and Q&A call, like induction call, and assignment is given to you guys already. You have to complete Finance 101 by Friday. After that, we are going to start with part 2. I think by Tuesday, your schedule and your this thing, study plan and schedule, both will be given to you by Tuesday. Chalo, let's go jump to, I think, YouTube questions. Uh, I don't want to mirror myself over here. Okay. Sir, how do we access IMA support package? If you're a FinStreet student, Harshita, you will get it on our LMS. Sir, how to get on a one-on-one call with you? So there are two ways. Go on TopMate. अच्छा ये internal है. TopMate. हाँ. Go on this website topmate.io slash Aditya underscore Shelar. You will find this on LinkedIn, Instagram, and a lot of platforms has this. You can just get in touch with me, book a call with, let's say initially, you can get clarification. If it is related to CMA, you can book a call with my team. वो basic details दे देंगे. See, you can always get in touch with me and that too for free. यहाँ पे prices लिखे हुए हैं, but that is for other stuff. If it is related to CMA, it is a two-step process. Get in touch with my team, get all the basics cleared, जो भी basic questions है, and then connect with me and my team will help you do that. And more than I mean more than myself, my team is efficient in doing that. Because I get so many requests and I might miss out on one two. But when you are reaching out to my team, they are behind me making sure that all calls or all requests are entertained. So best way is get in touch with my team. If you don't have the number, here it is 8411 888 192. The person you will see on this call is Hamshika. She's an important pillar of the team. She'll take care of you, whatever your queries or requirements are, she'll take care of it. So yeah, get in touch with my team. They'll help you with basic doubts and then you can get on a one-on-one call with me immediately on Zoom. I prefer answering mainly career guidance, study related, mainly those kind of questions. Basic CMA questions, team will take care of it. Other than CMA, uh, there's so many options. Pick whichever you want and you can book a call with me. I hope this helps. Okay, next, what do we have? I'm starting with, let me actually be here. I think this is much better. Next question we have is, okay, we got some questions in Marathi as well. So मला मराठी येतं, मी पुण्याचाच आहे. But this is an international course. The learning language is English. That I avoid speaking in Marathi. But one-on-one we can speak in Marathi. So I think Raj, sorry, I lost your chat. There are so many messages coming in. Chalo, let me start from the top. Uday Bhanu Verma. Sir, I've enrolled for CMA course and I'm working professional. I'm planning to write my exam in May, June since I've already registered. Is IMA membership compulsory? See, once you have registered, IMA membership is compulsory. You have to pay a membership fees year on year for rest of your life or till 50 or 60. उसके बाद कुछ, I think it is free. Complimentary होता है शायद. I was in US that time. I got to know about this. After certain age, it is free, but till that time, there's membership and there are n number of benefits with it. You get those benefits, but you have to pay the fee if you are adding CMA in front of your name. If you want to show that certificate, registration and entrance fee, that part is one-time fee, and that till the time the registration is valid. So let me actually simplify this for you. You got registration and entrance combined. This is for 3 years. In these 3 years, by hook or by crook, you have to pass both the parts. If there is a case where you have just passed one part, let's say part 2 kar liya, but part 1 is pending and 3 saal over ho gaye, this becomes invalid. So after 3 years, you have to appear for both the parts again. But again, there is a hack around it. Like you can get a 6-month extension, and if you need it, like you can get in touch with me. We can discuss it. I don't want to be open over here. 6-month extension कैसे मिलता है? Within 1 year after one, should I make another payment to Uday? I would say don't buy membership right away. Once you are confident about your exam, then only pay membership, registration, everything. Then immediately in a month's time, go for the exam. And अगले 6-7 महीने में 9 महीने में make sure you pass both the parts, like the second part. So effectively, जब भी membership pay कर रहे हो, within a year complete your exams. It's doable, easily doable. If you have received some wrong guidance around it, which is very common actually nowadays. then maybe fix it or get in touch with my team. They'll explain you the process. But yeah, don't waste money. Optimize it. Sir, can you please give a fast track pathway of section A? Section A के अंदर भी fast track. Maybe in class Deepika if you are planning to join. Hello sir, I have recently enrolled with CMA US and I've paid registration and membership. I am student of BMCC. अरे मैं तो faculty हूँ राज BMCC में. Come and meet me in BMCC. I take classes also in BMCC for CMA. सुबह मिलने आ जाओ, not an issue. I'm there in from Wednesday to Friday, 9:30 to 11:30. I'm there. BBA building meeting room, right next to staff room. हां लो फाय क्रेझी भाऊ मला तुमच्याशी बोलायचं आहे माझ्या झेलचा ॲडमिशन नंतर तुमचा व्हिडिओ पाहिला मला ऑफलाईन करायचं होते पुणेमध्ये पण झेलला पैसे भरून झाले होते मला बोलायचं आहे यू कॅन स्विच टू फिनस्ट्रीट there are a lot of students who have switched interestingly few weeks ago now I won't take names after this but just say a lot of students went for the exam and their essay section didn't even open. I got 3 to 4 calls in that week saying that, sir, we are with this XYZ class. The experience is very bad. Please give us your, access. उन्होंने self-paced recordings लिए थे. So always, I mean, don't be in a situation where even your essay section is not opening. You should sit for multiple mocks. If you are with us, we have a strict guideline. Okay, mock exams are there. Sit for it, then only decide. But before that, we officially don't announce. Okay, please go and sit for the exam. Fees for offline and online both. Aryan. So Aryan, our fees now this is I think till March. If you join us till March, offline fees is 80K, online is 70K. And I think timely there are some discounts as well. I think 5K tak discount mil jata hai, but these are our original fees, actual fees. And by the way, this is for both parts, Hawk included, everything included. It's funny. I was talking to a student from Mumbai who has joined a local class over there for US CMA. And when I asked him, what kind of study material he has, he said we have Hawk material. So I assumed he has access to LMS. But when I checked further that where he is practicing his MCQs and everything from, I got a very shocking response. He said, uh, "Sir, I don't have any access to LMS. I just have access to textbook." And I was so shocked. If you're not habitual to that UI, to that LMS, to the MCQ solving pattern, maybe if it's a small local class and they have arranged some pirated MCQs or screenshot MCQs, it's not fair with your level of preparation and it doesn't even cost much. I don't think हमारे और उनके charges में ज़्यादा difference होगा. We are one of the most affordable. There's an interesting story behind these prices as well. When I started, the prices were quite high, but then I reached out to a lot of students asking ke, what would be a fair price you want to pay? And this was the exact answer I got. The answer I got was rather 65. Everyone said between 60 to 70. So yeah, price set by students for the students. But after March, some of our offerings are gonna level up. So for that, we are incurring additional cost, and after March, our fees might go even higher. Another second thing is I'll be main faculty for 2025 uh, and some part of 2026 only, because I'm setting up a nice system internally, which is again a secret sauce for now. So yeah, it's a personal request. Like I want to teach as many students as I want, as much as I can. So if you are thinking of joining, do consider giving me a chance to be part of my students whom I take places. After this also, my support will be there. But for this phase, it's 100% me. Doubt solving, it's me. Classes, it's me. For your exam mentorship, everything, it's me. Placement mentorship also, it's me. We have a operations team, but from teaching and I'm planning to keep myself active. Sir, do you teach CPA also? At Tugal, not yet. Sir, its sales experience helped me to get a job after CMA in banking retail segment. It's doable. A lot of students, it's very easy. Like sales folks have good communication skill, but before applying for finance, if you have any experience of selling financial products, even better. We can tweak your CV. But if you don't have it, there are ways of getting in. You can always switch your career. Sir, I've completed my BCom graduation, but I don't have any work experience. Should I pursue US course? Will it benefit me? uh, Digital Nidhi Shah, yes, it will benefit you. See, when it comes to your career, let's say you want to make career in any field, okay, not even finance, A, B, C. The first thing that you need is decent expertise to start your career in that field. If you want to make a career in marketing, of course you should know everything about marketing, at least at a basic level. Fundamentals to clear होने ही चाहिए. Similarly, if you want to make a career in finance, of course fundamentals to clear होने चाहिए. So CMA will take care of it. After that, when it comes to, let's say, profile building, this and that, mentorship, everything, I'll take care of it. But yeah, CMA will benefit you. It is the starting point rather. Okay, we got question from real estate. Hello, good morning, sir. Ha, good evening, Naveen from Hyderabad. I'm pursuing BCom, so they teach me basics of C language, SQL, little bit. Basics of C is good, but see, when you are in finance, you do work around a lot of tools, but from user perspective, not a developer or you don't make tools, you use tools. So user perspective mein, it's good to have knowledge, but you don't need it. So jo bhi hum even trainings we have, it is from user perspective, that when a financial analyst is using Power BI, what would be use cases and how analysis would happen. That should be the perspective. So majority of our guests are from investment banks and FP&A roles. That's the split we have. Hi sir, it was nice meeting you at last Hyderabad event. Arey Vijay, likewise yaar. I love Hyderabad, especially biryani. You won't believe, for the first time when I visited Hyderabad, it was only for Ramoji City. But that time I had biryani from Paradise, Bawarchi, and one more place, I don't recall. And I loved all three biryanis. So next time when I visited Hyderabad, it was just for biryani. You won't believe, I went on Friday, Saturday I ate biryani, Sunday I came back to Pune. Uh, Amazing place. Sir, it was okay. Best course to learn Tableau Power BI. Learn Power BI first and then Tableau, I would say. Sir, I have a doubt after we register FinStreet classes, as you said, live section, that it takes hardly 3.42 months complete one section. So after completing one section, Ayushi, I said after joining FinStreet, in 3 to 4 months, we complete one part, not a section. Section on an average takes, if it's a small section, 4 weeks. अगर थोड़ा बड़ा सेक्शन है 8 weeks. That's it. That's the split. Sir, when we register to and sir, when we need to register and pay entrance fees to IMA. Okay, this is how your payment schedule should look like. Let's say if you are someone who's attempting May June attempt. May June. Then the idea is somewhere around March you should be clear. Okay, you are going for May June or not. Appear for a few tests and you'll get an idea. The payment should happen somewhere between 15th March and 15th April. 15th April if you are targeting May. Again, the idea is to get hold of good good date, desirable date, which is preferably last week of May. Why last week? वो मैं क्लास में बताऊंगा. If you are someone who's attempting or planning June attempt, then preferably try registering yourself between 15th April and 15th May. Targeted date would be last week of June. Sorry for the handwriting, but yeah, this is your ideal trajectory. So let's say May के लिए जाना है, do all the payments on 15 March ना. Get your membership up, get your registration up, exam up as well, and then you're sorted. Contact for admission 8411 888 192. This is our admissions team. If you need additional support, 8411 888. I think 124 hai if I'm not wrong. Let me actually take you to all the contacts we have internally. Hmm. You can take a screenshot of this. Let me actually shorten my window. Hmm. This number belongs to our admissions team, this number belongs to our student success management, and this is for escalations. So, and by the way, if any of this doesn't pick up, student success is for admitted students only, but if admission team doesn't pick up, you always have a senior person whom you can reach out to. You will find Rituja on this number, and you will find uh, Ritu, and if Ritu is not available, Amshika on this number. Is it compulsory to give exam? I mean, after giving exams, you will start other section. No, Ayushi timeline will be taken care by us very carefully. Don't worry about it. Raj, sir, would it be okay if I come to college between 9:30 and 11:30 to talk? Just inform me before coming, and we'll manage. If you want my personal number, here you go: 8177 Please call me in decent hours, and avoid calling me on Saturday, Sunday. I know most of you are free on Saturday, Sunday, but I take back-to-back classes on Saturday, Sunday. So best time to call me is between 2 p.m. and 4 p.m. And don't hesitate. Okay, you can call me directly Monday and Tuesday. Best time to get in touch with me. There's a good chance I attend 100% of the calls. Sir, when we need to register and pay, answered. BCom graduate and now doing CMA, MBA in finance. After MBA, I'll get an exemption of 9 papers in this thing. How is my plan? Rafi, there's a long discussion we need to have. I'm not. See, there are some pros and cons. We'll discuss it later. If you are okay with the cons, go ahead with your plan. Sir, is CMA plus CFA good combination? Yeah, it is. But guys, I'll be very honest. Don't run behind certifications, especially lot of certifications. And you might think, sir के पास खुद इतने सारे certification, and I'm asking you that don't run behind so many certifications. But idea is rather after having so much experience, this is how your game plan should be. If you're a fresher, complete your first certification, first one, a decent one. After that, focus on getting a job. Once you get a job, if you like the profile for that specialty, let's say if you get into audit and if you want to double down, make sure you pursue CPA. Let's say someone who's starting with CMA. Now CMA, why I would say CMA would be a good point to start. CMA covers everything, everything. मतलब audit भी है, investment banking का भी है, equity भी है, FP&A is there, costing is there, accounting is there, everything. It's a general course, not a specialization course. So if you get into audit, if you get into reporting, those kind of things, of course, CPA is good. If you get into taxation, CPA is good. So double down on CPA if you like the role. If you don't like the role, switch into an IB role, investment banking, doable. If you like the role, investment banking में career करना है, CFA is a good call. But again on product side, if you want to be on FP&A side, instead of CFA, CMA would be more than enough. FP&A, CMA, like literally go hand in hand. Uh, but if you want to just be on equity research side, derivative analysis, risk management in detail, now abhi risk में जाना है, then again CMA, you can double down with FRM. So it is very specific to role. Don't run behind certifications one after the other. Pursue a general certification, get into a job, then decide by trying out different roles. That should be the ideal approach. Okay, it's 8:25 by the way. I think I had planned till 8 only, but we had a good conversation. I'm happy. Discounts, Anubhav, if you're a FinStreet student, आपको discount मिल जाएगा. Don't worry at all. If not a FinStreet student, I think wait for the campaign. March, April तक membership registration पे discount आ जाएगा. That you can opt for. You can give both exams in one part. Now, this is a less known fact, but controller, you can pursue CMA and become a controller. But Roshni, coming to you, fun fact: if you appear for both the parts, let's say in May, June itself, you will be in race for, there are some awards or ranks given. But the only condition is that part 1 and part 2 needs to be given in one part only. So if you're someone who's targeting championship award and distinction award वगैरह कुछ, appear for both parts in one window. That is also fine. Not highly recommended because CMA is important. Maybe it's like award is a cherry on the cake, but the cake itself has a lot of value. So I would say focus on cake first. If you are in a capacity to target cherry as well, even better. Okay. Cool. So officially welcome again to all the candidates. I'm very happy that you have partnered up with us. We'll be taking you guys places, end-to-end support for lifetime. So again, I'm not here to make CMS. I'm here to make careers, and CMA will be our major leverage to make careers. With this, let's wrap up today's call. Thank you for attending. Please complete Finance 101. Whoever has joined, I'll see you on Saturday with first chapter. Schedule will be shared soon. Thank you.